Dr. Nicole Washington, let's roll over to you. How does a person stay jovial in this environment that we're currently facing?
Whew, not easy to do right now. One of the things I just really recommend that people do is think about the things that brought you joy before, and then let's get creative and modify them. We're in the 21st century. It's 2020. If game night, couples night was your thing, do it virtually. If, if having happy hour with the girls was your thing, do it virtually.
Virtually.
Do it in a park with lawn chairs and everybody's 6 feet apart. Let's get creative and remember that, this time we are physically distancing, but let's not really social distance, because it's hard to find joy when you're socially distant from people.
So we can pretend like we at a jazz festival with our box wine.
You sure can. And your speaker and your everybody with their own little box or bottle or whatever it is they need.
Thank you for saying that, Karen. Thank you so much. So many people talk down box wine, and box wine does not get the credibility that it gets. It's in a box. It fits in the refrigerator so neatly. I hate people who talk bad about box wine. I really do.
Well, actually, Dr. Nicole said that, J. Anthony, so I want to give credit where credit is due. But you're right. Let's give box wine its props. So shout out to box wine.
Box wine matters. Box wine matters.
It does. It does. Hey, I don't hate on box wine at all.
Karen, you do a podcast that's called Meditations, Takeoff Meditations, and you talk about basically how people move through life from a positive aspect. So how do you find that most people are moving right now?
It's a mixture of all of it. I think we're seeing the full palette in colors, from anger and rage to some people are in denial. I've been in conversations where people can't really acknowledge the pain that's happening, which is okay because we can't really control what other people are doing. We can just control our own response. I love what Dr. Nicole said about creating it. And that's essentially what Meditations with CARYN is. It's a virtual tea party. So I have my tea. It's intentional sipping and imbibing. It's a way that I bring my own joy. I think to answer your question, Tammy, we have to start with knowing that joy exists. So now it's just a matter of where we're placing our attention. And for me, the magnitude of my gratitude is directly proportional to how much joy I experience. So if it's something as simple as, you know what, my body digested food today, something that's so simple that we take for granted. It's just honoring that, looking at those little things that may sound a little corny and crazy, but when you start to really look at the gifts that you have and the blessings that you have, that's how you amplify joy, in my opinion.
Dr. BRYANT-DAVIS, what is something that we can all take joy in at this very moment?
We can take joy in our young people and those from all different generations who are protesting. We can take joy in the awakening, that when we see people marching and then breaking out in dance, when we see people marching and breaking out in song, we are reminded about who we are, the resilience that we have, and who we come from. That so much has been organized to dehumanize us. And yet here we are. It is amazing. We are a remarkable people, and that gives us joy. And also our spirituality. We're mindful in the church. People will often say, this joy I have, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. And so racism did not give me my joy. White patriarchy did not give me my joy. It is a spiritual thing. And so it's significant that we're on FOXSOUL. And we think about the things that feed our soul. It's not about what's happening out there, it's what's happening in here.
I have joy, 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 unspeakable joy.
Yes.
Yeah. Jay, I know you can definitely tell us how to be joyful in times that don't look the best. You've had to go through leukemia, and you've had to go through several treatments. How did you, because honestly, you were still joking while you were going through treatment. I was like, what the hell?
Well, I think being a comedian was a big help. I was able to have some place to go be funny and not take myself too serious. Now, don't get me wrong. There were some days when, you don't feel like eating and your stomach is all in a knot from chemo and stuff like that, where you feel like, why me, or and why not that guy? But for the most part, when I would get on that radio and, you know, go on Steve's show, it was a relief for me. I was able to talk and express myself and be funny. And not only that, I think I was showing somebody else that, you know, if he can do it, then I can do it. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's not end all. You know, if Jay can get on the radio and do it, then maybe I can be strong by myself. That wasn't the thinking that I had, but I was just that I had no other choice but to go to work and be funny. You know, I mean, I can't go to work and be sad. I'm not gonna have my job. So I had to make jokes about what it is I was going through and dealing with it the best way I could. And it was a relief for me to have a place to do that. You know? It was a big relief.
Dr. Washington, how do we have joy during not only during protest, but a pandemic? People forget, but we are still in the middle of a pandemic, and the cases of coronavirus are increasing, Dr. Washington. So how is it that we can maintain some sense of even being joyous through two significant pandemics at the moment?
Right. And I think Dr. BRYANT-DAVIS, you know, gave us the best, you know, the best summary of it was that, you know, the world didn't give it to us and the world can't take it away.
Take it away.
And if you are, you know, we have to look in ourselves and to those things that are really important to us to find joy. But ultimately, we have to give ourselves permission to find joy right now. And I think so many of us feel guilty because we had the pandemic and then we knew that, you know, it was people that looked like us who were dying more from the coronavirus and who were being hospitalized more and who were having more serious outcomes. It was also us who were having to go to work, right? Because we didn't have a choice. And then we have everything that has happened since then, just when we thought things couldn't get much worse than the pandemic, and then everything else unfolded. And I think a lot of us feel guilty about taking a moment to rest and taking a moment to have a laugh and taking a moment to enjoy time with friends. You know, it's okay. It's okay to do those things and to laugh and to find joy. As a matter of fact, it's the only way that we're going to be able to continue this marathon. That's not a sprint. This is not going away. And so we need to find ways to pull back, have a good time, find ways to have joy in the middle of the protests and all those things. We have to, because if we don't, it's going to be a long journey. It's going to be long anyway, but it's going to be a lot longer if we don't find the ability to pull in some joy in some spots.
You're absolutely right. I totally agree with you. I mean, if you can think about the saddest thing or the most traumatic thing that you have gone through, and I'm using, for instance, that maybe you broke up with somebody or somebody broke up with you. You go to your friends, you're crying, you're having a sob party, you get over it, you get past it. All of a sudden, you become what I call remember that time. And once we all become that, you have this ability to laugh at it. Like, remember that time that dude?
Yes,
you was just crying. No, I wasn't crying. You was crying. You crying.
The good old days, yeah.
That did not happen. And that gives you this ability to laugh at it. And I used to say in comedy, everything is funny. Not right away, but after a while, it becomes something you can laugh at. When you're going through it, it seems like the worst thing. Think about somebody who dumped you. You go, oh my God, I can't believe he left me. And then all of a sudden your friends start looking at how ridiculous you look. And then you have this ability to laugh at it. That's
and
just
you're like, oh my God, thank God that happened. We're coming right back on the